We arrive at the grand capital, Cardina, where news of a significant event has just landed. One man reacts with utter shock, exclaiming, "Baron Fenris, that moron has actually won?" He can't believe Ghislaine defeated Count Capaldi, known as the Master of the Iron Fortress. In a private meeting, several officials echo this surprise, admitting they never expected Baron Fenris to possess such superior military capabilities. They realize one truly cannot judge others by appearance, especially since he occupied the fortress in a full-scale battle. The discussions about Ghislaine's victory continue among the kingdom's officials. An official emphasizes Lord Ghislaine's undeniable military strength, having successfully occupied the fortress. Marquis Branford then queries Tullio about any activity from Desmond's side. Tullio reports that Desmond's faction remains silent. This leads a frustrated official to lament his own strategic efforts becoming redundant due to Ghislaine's swift triumph, revealing deeper political tensions within the kingdom's leadership. The kingdom's officials delve deeper into the political implications of recent events. One official notes they've benefited enough from this time's harvest, as Count Capaldi's clear support from the Duke's family means they can't intervene easily now. A woman laments that Desmond's inaction prevents confirming his loyalty to the Duke's faction. Marquis Branford then warns the group that while they've gained military power, the Duke's family won't stand idly by, advising everyone to remain vigilant before adjourning the session. Two officials discuss Marquis Branford's unwavering demeanor, noting he should have at least smiled after their victory. Another insists his coldness is crucial for leading the loyalist faction. Moments later, Marquis Branford instructs, "Let's go, Rosaline." Rosaline begins to reply, then pauses as a sudden realization crosses her face, before she collects herself with a subtle, knowing smile. Following their meeting, Rosaline confirms her familial bond with Marquis Branford, calmly replying, "Yes, father." The narrative then shifts dramatically, taking us to the northern region of the Kingdom of Rotania. Three armored figures on horseback are seen traversing a desolate landscape, heading purposefully towards Count Capaldi's recently occupied fortress. This change of scenery suggests new developments are unfolding in the aftermath of Ghislaine's victory, perhaps involving reconnaissance or consolidation of power in the newly secured territory. Amidst a desolate landscape, the priestess and squad leader Max are on horseback, approaching a surprisingly quiet area. Max voices his concern, questioning if Baron Fenris's army has already been defeated. A distressed priestess responds, revealing their urgent mission to rescue Baron Fenris, as instructed by Lady Mariel and Marquis Branford. She worries about returning empty-handed. Max, however, dismisses her fears, speculating that Fenris's own reckless war might be the cause of any potential failure, leaving the priestess deeply troubled. Squad leader Max, ever the pragmatist, dismisses the priestess's worries, reminding her, "Well, that's your problem, priestess." He adds that as mercenaries, they're paid for their work regardless. Suddenly, they spot their destination in the distance, with someone exclaiming, "It's the territories." As they draw closer, a soldier is seen managing a crowd, shouting, "HHUI, line up." He assures the people that the new lord will see to it that you don't go hungry for a while, indicating Ghislaine has already established order and is providing for the citizens. Arriving at the occupied fortress, squad leader Max and the priestess are met with a bustling scene. Ghislaine's forces are already distributing contracts to the local miners, who react with utter disbelief and relief, exclaiming, "A new lord showing us such mercy." The people wonder if their hellish days are finally over. Nearby, soldiers are urgently directing the construction of temporary shelters, with one complaining, "I'm not a worker, I was originally a mage." Max, observing the organized chaos, can only ask, what's happening here? Is the war really over, as they take in the unexpected sight? Inside the newly secured fortress, the priestess is utterly shocked by the sheer amount of wealth discovered. She exclaims, "Count Capaldi, how much loot were you hiding, for hell's sake?" Soldiers joyfully carry crates overflowing with gold coins, art pieces, and valuables, and even an armory full of advanced weapons is found. A soldier asks the priestess if all this truly belongs to Count Capaldi. Suddenly, Gillian appears, his intense gaze hinting at a new development concerning these immense spoils. Following Gillian's intense gaze at the discovered wealth, he turns, demanding, "Reveal your identity and affiliation." The narrative then dramatically shifts to a sprawling, impressive city, its massive fortress walls dominating the landscape. We see a bustling town outside the walls, and then move inside to a lavish interior. A grand hall, adorned with a sparkling chandelier, stretches towards imposing double doors, flanked by two stern guards. The resonant sounds of an approaching presence echo through the corridor, building anticipation for who might be arriving. We find ourselves in a magnificent hall, bathed in sunlight streaming through grand windows. A cloaked figure stands observing the scene, their back to us. Suddenly, the priestess appears, looking anxious, alongside a stern knight. Gillian, also present with another armored man, is informed, they are guests from the capital. This arrival suggests a formal delegation, perhaps to address the recent events or the massive wealth discovered. Their presence here is surely significant. In the Grand Hall, Gillian acknowledges the priestess and a stern knight as guests from the capital. The knight, in a moment of internal reflection, reveals his unique ability to gauge a person's value by their aura or scent. He senses the acrid smell of blood and observes the disciplined movements of a cloaked figure across the hall. The knight's gaze intensifies as the figure steps into the light, revealing none other than Baron Fenris himself, prompting the knight to exclaim internally, "This man is Baron Fenris." Baron Fenris, in his full armor, finally reveals himself in the Grand Hall. He stands calmly as squad leader Max approaches, formally introducing himself. Max declares he was sent by Marquis Branford on a mission to rescue Baron Fenris by any means, especially if he were in danger. Ghislaine simply turns his head, a slight, knowing smile gracing his lips, clearly finding Max's earnest declaration amusing given the circumstances. Ghislaine confronts squad leader Max in the Grand Hall, bluntly telling him, "You're late." A flustered Max explains they rushed but never anticipated Ghislaine's swift victory, praising him as the rising star. Max attempts to leave, mentioning the clients who sent them, but Ghislaine stops him cold. Max stammers, questioning what they were supposed to do since the war was already over. Ghislaine, with a stern expression, implies he wouldn't know what to tell their clients about Max's premature departure, leaving Max looking utterly trapped. In the Grand Hall, Ghislaine calmly presses squad leader Max, suggesting it's better for both of them to save each other's face. Max, visibly stressed and uncomfortable, finally relents, his face showing clear distress before he reluctantly agrees, stating, "Why yes, I understand. I will do it." The priestess, having witnessed the entire tense exchange, then anxiously calls out to Max, "SSIR Max," while Ghislaine maintains his composed, almost challenging gaze. The priestess finally introduces herself as Beauty, serving Lady Joanna, goddess of beauty and fertility. She explains her special mission was sent by Countess Mariel, a patron of her sect. Ghislaine, observing her, recalls that her order typically shuns battlefields and impurity. He then reflects on the scarcity of priests in the northern region, remembering how he once had to stay in Raybol to treat his daughter due to this very lack. The holy power wielded by priests, he realizes, is incredibly precious. In the Grand Hall, Ghislaine smirks, thinking the priestess's arrival, with her holy power, this came at the right time. He wastes no time, immediately instructing Belinda to escort the lady priestess to the site immediately. The priestess is clearly caught off guard, letting out a surprised HUH as Belinda and Rachel swiftly take her by the arms. She tries to protest, exclaiming, I didn't come here to work. But Belinda gently guides her away, reminding her that many miserable people need her holy power. Ghislaine watches, satisfied, as she's led off to help. In the Grand Hall, Ghislaine and Gillian reflect on the priestess's presence, with Ghislaine acknowledging her unexpected power. Gillian notes his surprise that the king's loyalist faction has now moved the church. Ghislaine, ever strategic, then muses that with this new development, he can move more freely. Suddenly, the scene dramatically shifts to a brutal spar, where Lucas stands victorious, giving a thumbs up. Below him, squad leader Kair lies defeated and bloody on the ground, clearly vanquished. This intense display reveals a different kind of power struggle unfolding. The brutal spar concludes, leaving armored soldiers utterly stunned as they exclaim, Squad leader Kair has been defeated? Lucas stands triumphantly over a bloody, defeated squad leader Kair, who lies vanquished on the ground. Lucas, with an air of superiority, taunts him, questioning, Are you the master's right-hand man? It doesn't seem so to me. A close-up reveals Lucas's smug, challenging grin, as a humiliated Kair can only manage a weak, "Why you bastard?" This moment definitively establishes Lucas's dominance.